Alright guys, in this video I have a 2010 Hyundai and my customer complaint is that their fuel level gauge isn't responding. I'm going to show you my process of determining if I have a fuel level sender problem or if it might be something else. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to take and we're going to verify the customer's complaint that it's only marking 2 bars onto the dash. And as you can see, it is only marking 2 bars. So now we're going to go through a quick process on how I determine if it's either a sensor issue or it might be a wiring issue or something of that nature. Now, to get to, on a 2010 Hyundai Tucson, to get to the fuel tank's sending unit, it lives under the rear passenger seat onto the driver's side, which is right in this area. So what we're going to do is that we're going to remove the passenger seat. Now to remove the passenger seat, we have this area right here. What we're going to do, just pull up, and the other side is going to be the exact same thing. Go around, and we're going to pull up again. And these ones are pretty tight. And then we're going to take and we're going to lower the passenger seat, rear seat, and we're going to lift this area right here. Now when we lift this area, if you come look inside here, you're going to see that there's a 14mm bolt right here. Now this 14mm bolt, I'm going to remove it, and then we're going to remove the seat. Wrong way, buddy. Okay. Alright. So now I removed the bolt. We're going to take and we're going to put the seat back up. Like this. And this one's very simple. You're just going to take and pull it out, just like that. Now I'm going to set you guys down so I can put the seat somewhere safe. And now we're going to go back over to the driver's side. Alright, so as you can see, this area right here, your sending unit for your fuel pump lives right here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to lift it, and we have 4 screws that need to be removed. If you can see them. Try to give you guys a good view. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to remove the screws. The screws are just a Phillips screwdriver. There we go. And then we're just going to take this guy, we're just going to move him up. And now we have our fuel tank sending unit. So there are a few things that actually have to be removed, but the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come down and we are going to look at our wiring right here. Now this connector, I'll give you guys a close up. Here we go. Oh, don't want that to happen. There, put him there. There we go. That's better. All right, so this connector right here is the connector for your fuel pump and your fuel level sender. So, and this is your fuel tank pressure sensor over here, and then you have a line for your evap, which is right here. Well, you guys can't really see that one. See if I back you guys up. Look at that. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. So this one's the line for your that goes to your charcoal canister, and this one is another line for your fuel delivery system right here. So now this is the area that we are concerned with, is this one right here. So for this next part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the key. And you guys seen that it showed 2 bars onto the fuel gauge. So what we're going to do is that we're going to just take and we're going to unplug the fuel sender connector, and we're going to see what happens onto the fuel gauge. Now I want to see that when I unplug this, I want to see that drop to 0. So what I'm going to do now is just I'm going to bring you guys over, and I'm going to try to prop you guys up so you guys can see the fuel level sender when I disconnect it. So should be almost instantaneous. So I just unplugged it. Now I want to see it climb down or go to empty. So we're just going to wait, and it should do it automatically by itself. And as you see, it starts to drop, and then it'll drop one more time, and then my gas gauge light turns on. You guys can't see that because steering wheel, sorry. And then it flashes. So you see that by disconnecting it, it worked properly. So in order to replace this guy, we're gonna have to work around because I don't actually have the tool to grip on, which does suck because that tool is, you really actually do need that tool, but we're gonna do it without it. So we're gonna take and we're gonna remove our fuel pressure sensor, fuel tank pressure sensor. So now we're gonna continue by disconnecting everything. So then we're gonna take and we're just gonna disconnect this guy. We're gonna undo him. Now these connectors on the sides can be a little tricky. Sometimes, not all the times. Okay, so we can take him, we'll push him over to the side because we're gonna need all the room we can get. And then this guy down here is same thing. It's just two little clips that you push onto the side like this. So right here, this one might be a little bit more tricky. We'll see. I don't really have the pliers, so here we go. Now we're gonna take that and we're gonna move that to the side as much as we can without breaking anything. Okay. Now we have our pump right here. Now our pump is just locked in place, so I'm gonna try turn it without used to lack of a better word, breaking it, because I don't actually have the tool. Now there's a tool that would actually come in and would grip onto this area, like these areas right here, and then it would come up and you have you basically just take your 3/8 ratchet, you put it on and you give it a twist and everything comes off. Now I don't have that tool, regrettably, but we're gonna try to do it this way anyway, because these things go in there pretty tight. So you're just gonna come onto this area and it's turning, it's coming off, and I don't know if you guys are seeing it turn down here, but it's almost off already. So that's not the end of the world. It's just that that tool eliminates the need to do this. All right. There we go. Got that part done. Now we're gonna take and we're gonna hit this area. There we go. That's it for that. Now, before you guys take out this area, what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna take some rags or something. You're gonna put some shop rags or something around it. You're also gonna take an air gun. You're gonna blow out all the air, all the dirt around it to make sure nothing falls in the tank. Blow everything out. Now we'll go get some shop rags, put some shop rags around to catch almost all the fuel. The last thing we want is fuel everywhere. And we'll take and we'll rinse it off after we get everything in. But yeah, so here's this. Now here's your ring, which is right here. We'll take this guy, we'll clean this guy off too. Now we're gonna see how much gas is actually in here. Because like I said, he said he put $20 into it, but who knows, right? There we go. When you're removing it, try to make sure that you guys have the proper orientation too. So your connector's on this side, so make sure that when you put it back in, your connector's on that side. So we're gonna have to turn him. You guys have to play around with it sometimes to get it out. Depending on where it is. This part can sometimes be a little annoying, if you want to say. Okay, we're gonna put it back in because I had no idea how this guy's coming out. Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, yeah. That's why, guys. This guy right here is blocking me for some reason. But we're gonna have to take and remove this connector. Now remember when you guys put it back in to reconnect this connector. I'm guessing this is your evap line. from inside the tank. Oh, they could have put it in a better place, huh? Oh, nope. They had to put it right there. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Oh. That is ridiculous. Oh, there we go. Okay. There you go, guys. Alright. So, where does this guy go? I don't want him falling inside either, so we'll hold on to him for a minute while we pull this guy out. Or try to pull this guy out. Last thing I wanted to do is go fishing in a fuel tank after. But I might not have a choice because I don't think that this guy's going to come out. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to go fishing after. Alright, we're good. Alright, I'm not going to sit there and play around with that too much. Oh, God, eh? They made this impossible to take out. Oh, it's one thing after another on this one. Alright. Let's see what we got. Oh, they made this so snug. I mean snug, like it's ridiculously snug. There we go. Oh my God, eh? Man, no wonder. They might have already replaced it and just damaged it putting it in. There we go. Like I said, lots of gas coming out of this, guys. Yeah. We're gonna have fun putting this guy back in, I can tell you that. Alright. Alright. Whew. Alright. So, lots of fuel in there. Don't want that dropping all over the place. Take a rag, put a rag. Get you guys set up over here. Try to get you guys. Alright. So here we have our fuel level sensor, which is right here. Here is our new one straight from Hyundai. These things, okay, now you might be asking yourself, okay, well, why are you just replacing this part instead of the whole unit? Well, the whole unit is about like $500, $600, where this little guy is $33. So 500, 33. I would rather charge my customer $33 for a part than, you know, 500. So we have this one connector right here. This guy. It's going to have a black and brown wire onto it. We're going to take and we are going to disconnect this wire. This connector. And there's a little tie wrap right here. We're going to take and we're going to undo that tie wrap. Right here, we're just going to take this guy. We're going to cut him off. Careful not to cut any other wires. And there you go. Now, as you can see, it's routed right here. And when you put it back, you're going to have to make sure that you reroute the wires properly. So that's there, that's there. Now, there's a little clip on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right here. You're going to have to take and pry that out and then pull down on the unit. So like I said, we're going to just pry out and then push down. So as you're prying out, go from the top, and what's going to end up happening is going to move for you. So then you just take and you slide out the unit. And that's it. Now we're going to take the new one, which is right here. We're going to lift it back up. There's a little slide area right here. We're going to take him, we're going to insert him into that area, and we're going to take him, we're going to push up. Now you're going to have to use some force to push up because it does get pretty tight. Now you're going to take your wires, like I said, we're going to reroute them. Right there. And these ones came up here. And then our connector plugs into here. Now I'm just going to get a tie wrap. We're going to put in there a little tie wrap. I don't have the small ones, but I am still going to put a tie wrap onto it just to hold everything in its spot. You guys will notice that when I work, I try to put things back the way they were. If there's a tie wrap, put a tie wrap. It's just to make sure that the wires don't flop around on the inside of the tank, guys. And there we go. And that's it. So now we're just going to take and we're going to cut. Make sure everything stays in spot so that it's not floating around everywhere. We'll take this guy, we'll push him in a little bit more because I really don't want them falling out and going all over the place. Okay, look at that. Perfect. Take and we'll clean up all this gunk, if you want to call it. So, all in all, the hardest part of this job was just taking off the ring because I didn't have the tool to take off the retaining ring. Now, can this job be done without it? Yes, it can. You've seen me do it without it. Is it time consuming? Yes. Now, you can always try see if the dealer will lend you the tool or rent it out to you or something like that. But if you don't have the dealer around, then you guys can just take and do the way that I did. And that's it. So now to reinstall, you're just going to go in the reverse order of removal, and then your job is going to be done. Now I'm going to reinstall this without you guys on camera because you guys don't need to see me reinstall it. And then I'm going to bring you guys back up when I have everything installed. And we're going to take and we're going to look at our fuel level with the new sensor. And like I said, be careful not to bend this guy around too much, because if you do, well, you're going to put fuel everywhere, and that's not what you want. All right? So, be right back. All right, guys, so now I have the pump installed. I have the connector. I didn't even plug it in yet. I didn't turn it on. I didn't do anything. I wanted to give you guys a real experience. So here's the connector. Now we're going to plug in the connector. We're going to come over to the front seat. We're going to take the key. We're going to turn this key. And we're going to sit here and we're going to watch this gas gauge. Now what I want to see is it climbed over two bars. Now if it climbs over 2 bars, that means that the problem is fixed, and this car was probably very, very empty when they went and put gas into it. So we're just going to sit here. Now what's going to end up happening is this guy's going to stop. Then up here it's going to flash. Then this guy's going to disappear. And then this one's going to start climbing, if everything is fixed. Now in really, really severe cases, you guys are going to have codes that can be set for these sensors. But that's very severe cases. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to read. So I stopped flashing. As you see, the gas gauge went out. We're at 2. We're at 3. And they put $20 in, so I'm guessing it's going to be stuck around 3. I don't think it's going to actually go up any higher than that. Like I said, this tank was probably pretty empty when they put gas into it, so that's why. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and hopefully you guys learned something from it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys next time.